Well, I started playing poker when I was 8 years old. My grandfather taught me the rules, and I have been playing ever since. You know, I always loved to play cards. My family always played different card games and different board games and checkers and a little bit of chess, but not so much. We just loved to play games, and you know, I would every chance I got to play with my grandfather, I would, and you know, I would go and play different house games in the community, and I would go down to Atlantic City and play down there, and I love to play, and I decided around the age of 20 that I was going to try to make a living at it. And you know, there was some good times, bad times, and you know, I just kept at it, and I worked very hard at my game. I played 15, 16 hours a day for like 4 or 5 years, and I became very good at poker, and here we are today.
How did the surroundings, I mean, your parents, your friends, how did they react when you told them your choice of?
Well, my parents, they hated the fact that I was going to play poker. You know, I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, most parents wouldn't like if their child decided that they were going to play poker. You know, unless your father's dog Brunson or something. I mean, you know, why would you want your kid to play poker? It's a very, very tough profession. You know, and there's a lot of ups and downs, and there's a lot of bad times. You know, it's very tough to make a living at poker because it's tough to manage. You know, it's tough to manage the money. You know, you have to prepare for, you know, your bad streaks, and most people don't know how to do that. So I think it's a very tough way to make a living.
We hear a lot of stories about the game in like Bobby's room in Bellagio and stuff. Could you tell us a little bit about?
Well, Bobby's room that's where the biggest games in the world are played. There's a lot of really good players that play in that game, and you know, we play for lots of money, and we play around the clock during the World Series of Poker, and you know, we're playing all the time. It's a grind, and come the end of the World Series, all of us are very, very tired and worn down, but we just keep playing, keep chugging along, and you know, the object is to try to win as much money as you can during that time.
You mentioned the World Series, and we of course have to talk a little bit about that, your advancement to the final table here now in November. But just with a few words, 2009 is a poker year for Mr. Ivey. How, if you would rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, 2009 as a poker year for me, I would rate it as about a 8 or so. I mean, if I win the main event, then I think it would be very close to 10. I mean, but you know, I haven't won it yet, and you know, it's still a lot of work to be done. So, you know, if I win the main event, I mean, that would just be unbelievable, especially for me in my poker career. And you know, so this would be like a dream come true, just to win this event. You know, I've always wanted to win this event, and I'm looking forward to it.
We were there working, covering the World Series of Poker.se. It was chaotic from our viewpoint. How was it to play the actual game with all the you know, people around, the media?
Well, you know what? I don't really, when I'm playing poker, I don't really think about the media or the people there or any of that thing. You know, I worry about those my opponents at the table, and I try to live in the moment and worry about what's going on right immediately in that circle, and I think that helps me. You know, and after you win, when you win a tournament, doing interviews is not so bad. You know, it's when you get knocked out, 3rd, 4th, 5th, or whatever, then you have to do the interviews. That's a little, you know, you just want to get out. For me anyway, I just want to get out of there and you know, play the next tournament.
When you think about the World Series so far, except for the final table, then of course, what do you remember the most? Was it any special hand? Was it any opponent? Was it a special table?
No, the second bracelet I won was pretty special for me this year because you know, I had a lot of prop bets on it. For 1, and 2, it just kind of caught me by surprise, and you know, I was very low on chips at the end of the first couple hours of that tournament, almost down to nothing, and I ended up coming back and winning that tournament. So it was a very special moment for me. It was bracelet number 7, and you know, it got me closer to Eric Seidel. Eric Seidel has 8, So, I would like to catch him. Hopefully I catch him in November.
You mentioned prop bets. We have to ask something about it. There's a lot of talking going around on money-wise. Can you tell us a little bit?
Well,
On the side bets?
we bet, I took 2.5 to 1 on me winning a bracelet this year on any tournament. And I took about the same last year. Last year I didn't do so well. This year I won 2 of them. So I ended up with a small profit from it. But it's a fun thing to do. And hopefully, I have some more bets next year.
We had a really nice conversation with your friend Brad Greenstein during the World Series of Poker, and you mentioned some golf round that had some crazy betting and some Jesus charts involved. And how's your golf game, by the way?
Well, I haven't really been playing too much because I've been playing so much poker. We just finished playing in Bobby's room a couple of weeks ago, and then I immediately had to go to Germany for some full tilt event, and now I'm here. So I really haven't had time to really do much golfing. But when I get back home after the World Series of Poker Europe, when I get back home, I'm gonna play every day up until the main event. So hopefully I'll be okay by that point.
How do you focus for the final table? How do you have any preparation?
No, not really. I mean, of course I'm going to look at see how they play certain hands that are televised. But other than that, I'm just going to continue to live my normal life and enjoy myself. And when I get there, I'm going to be ready. I mean, still at the end of the day, I know it's a big event. At the end of the day, it's a tournament. At the end of the day, we were playing poker. So. I mean, people put a lot into it that it's the main event and it's, the biggest event in the world, but it's still a poker tournament and you still have to play poker. And I'm pretty good at that, so I think I'll be all right.
I second that. We get a lot of questions from our viewers, and they're asking, what's the first step for me to start my poker career? Do you have, some simple advice?
The first step to start their poker career? For one, they have to start. Most people suggest that you read books and everything else, but I believe that you should start playing before you read a book, because you have to kind of know what you're reading about, and it helps. What happens is you read a book and then you start playing, and you realize you're going to have to go back and read that book again, But if you start playing at a level that doesn't hurt you financially, even if it's 1 cent, 2 cent, no limit, or 5 cent, 10 cent, no limit, whatever, doesn't hurt you financially, start playing at that, just to kind of learn the hands and what to do in certain situations and everything else, and how to play and everything else. I think that's important. And then maybe you read a book and you figure out, and you go back and play. I think you should really just take it slowly, because poker's not something you should just jump into. It's, like I said earlier, it's very tough to make a living at it. And make it as a hobby in the beginning, and then if you feel as though you can do it for a living, you're making more money than you make working, then maybe you should give it a try professionally, but also have something to fall back on if it doesn't work out for you.
Okay, Phil, thank you very much for this talk, and especially warm good luck from Sweden and total Scandinavia. And if you win, will you come to Sweden next year?
Absolutely.
Perfect. That's a deal.
Okay,
Thanks, Phil.